All right, welcome to the Yonaha podcast. Today I have Maya Fiorella.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. My name is Maya. I am a recent college graduate, and as of right now, I am studying to become a Pilates instructor, and then I'm also a part-time content creator.
Yeah, so do you mind if I name drop the school we went to?
Absolutely.
All right, so Maya and I just graduated from Sonoma State University. We were both comms majors, and we are hundreds of miles apart, and we had to do school over Zoom. So I guess we'll start with that. How was doing that university experience for you?
So, freshman and sophomore year, I was on campus at Sonoma State, and I loved it so much. And then once COVID happened and we switched to online, I kind of started to hate school quite a lot. And that's when I decided that I was going to graduate early because it just made the most sense for me. I didn't really like virtual learning as much. So I was kind of just ready to move on. So I graduated early, and my senior year, over that summer, right before my final semester, I actually moved to Los Angeles because school was still online for me, so it just made sense. I always wanted to move to Los Angeles after I graduated, so I just took the chance to do that a little bit early. And I feel like it really worked out because once I graduated, I was already settled in LA.
Yeah, I mean, that's a really bold decision to have. I mean, I'm afraid to move to LA. I live with my family here, and I'm very tied down to that. I just don't feel like I'm capable of leaving quite yet. But yeah, I mean, that's the place to go for the stuff we do.
It definitely is like the hub of all things media. It's actually crazy. I feel like every person that I've met since moving to LA works in some sort of the entertainment industry or the film industry, or I know so many people that are also in content creation. It's like crazy.
Yeah. I, on the other hand, don't know many. I actually don't think I know any that are local. But with what I'm doing, it's kind of like this can entirely happen from anywhere in the world. Because like you saw my senior project, I do animation. I want to be able to make my own film studio and hire my own employees and all such and such. So hopefully I don't have to live in LA, and that I could like comfortably live anywhere and have my own studio and whatnot. But I'm probably still gonna be in California.
California is the best place to be.
Yeah. So, would you like to describe your content?
Yeah, so I started on TikTok actually toward the very beginning of quarantine. I literally posted one like what I eat in a day video, and it kind of blew up, and then I just kept doing it for months and months and months, and then I ended up starting an Instagram account, which has slowly grown as well. I would say my content focuses mainly on health and wellness. Those are two things that I've always been very passionate about, especially a holistic view. So I wouldn't say it's like, oh, here's a diet that you need to start. It's very much centered around like just feeling good every day, very realistic view of health and wellness.
Yeah, and I've been following your TikTok since probably September last year, and I see it. Once you added me back, you flooded my For You page. You were 90% of my For You page. And I was like, wow, I need to fix my diet. You're eating avocado toast and all that stuff every day, and I'm eating like waffles. But yeah, I'm trying to fix it. I take collagen, I drink lemon water. I have this gallon jug of water here. And yeah, I'm trying to work all those things into my life. I want to be youthful and flexible and healthy for a long time. So yeah, I really like your content, and I mean, I wish I had the same backstory as you. Nothing I've done has blown up quite yet. My most viewed YouTube video at the moment has 311 views, and my most viewed TikTok has 15,000 views. And 15,000's probably a small number to you, but I'm working on it. I gotta strike gold, and then I can capitalize on it.
I think I definitely started on TikTok at a really good time as well, because I feel like my views were almost better when I first started versus now. It's kind of crazy to see how the algorithm has changed just overall. I mean, when I started posting on TikTok, it was only about a year into TikTok's popularity. So there wasn't a lot of people in my niche, and there wasn't a lot of people posting every single day. And I definitely think that those are two things that led to my success immediately when I started. Whereas now I can definitely see that the algorithm is a lot more slow to push out even my videos, having like a higher follower count. So
You said you want to be a Pilates instructor. I would ask what steps you're taking towards that. I see that you do a lot of Pilates on your TikTok. Have you thought of doing online courses that you can sell to people for that, as well as teaching in person, or what methods are you taking?
yeah, so I actually, right when I started my Instagram, which was probably toward the end of 2020, I was making like at home workout videos. That was very trendy to do in the years of quarantine. And it just wasn't very sustainable for me because I didn't love filming at home as much. And I just found it to be more of a hassle. So I kind of fell out of that in the content creation terms. And then my senior year of college, I decided that I really wanted to get back into like group fitness and one-on-one teaching of Pilates. So I signed up for a 9-month program through Equinox, which has been amazing. I love the program so, so much, but I am still kind of unsure if I will go back to making videos. I love teaching so much. My first major when I started at Sonoma State was early childhood education. I thought that I was going to be like a first grade teacher for my whole life pretty much. And anyway, so I love teaching. I've always been really drawn to it, but I think there's something a lot more special about teaching in person, and I just don't have the same passion for it when I'm just recording myself online. So I'm not really sure. It would be nice. I know a lot of my audience has asked me to continue, but it's really difficult for me to continue to do something if I'm not super passionate about it.
I understand that. Yeah. I mean, teaching in person sounds a lot nicer. I'm actually about to begin tutoring a small child in art stuff, and I had made a couple videos on my channel where it's like an art school thing where I talk about concepts, and I was like, I hate doing this for videos, but I'm excited to teach someone in person and have like their feedback, and it's a totally different thing. Now I have a fun question. Do you adhere to your TikTok lifestyle outside of TikTok all the time?
Yeah, 100%.
Because
yeah.
I showed someone at work your videos. I was like, wow, I need to like fix my life. Look at all this. And she's like, oh no, she definitely like records this video and then goes and eats a hamburger. And I'm like,
I mean, I definitely believe in balance, and I try really hard to show that on my profiles, but it is like hard sometimes. But yeah, no, I think that I eat mainly pretty healthy. I've always kind of eaten healthy. I think I was diagnosed with an autoimmune disease when I was like 13, 14, and that kind of like forced me into a healthy lifestyle at a young age. And then on top of that, my mom was always really, really healthy, and so that obviously like had a huge influence on me as well. I would say the only thing that I feel like is maybe misconstrued on social media is those are obviously like the highlights of my day, and it would be really boring, and I've thought about this before, but it would be so boring if I made a video about how I sat at my computer for like 5 hours, even though that is what I do some days, like answering emails and brainstorming new content and all of that. People like at the end of the day really don't care about that, and it's not like motivating or inspiring to them, so I don't really show it. But I mean, on my Instagram stories I might show it, but not necessarily for like a whole video.
yeah, it's just good to see, like, you know, when it becomes unrealistic to people and then they think, okay, this is fake, it's not relatable to me. That's how my coworker reacted to your content. She was like, I can't live like this. and she probably doesn't either, and it's like a projection thing. But yeah, it's really good. I mean, I understand being forced into like that health situation. The last 9-10 months for me have been that. I've always been able to eat whatever I want. As a child, I was abnormally skinny, but as a teenager, all these things, sugar, dairy, whatever, would break me out really badly until I had to get medicated for it. But now, I've been having other health problems where they're like, okay, no more red meat, no more dairy, no more animal product in general. You can only have like fish, chicken, turkey, have more oats, have more beans, have more rice, like, and they're like, try to go entirely plant-based, and that has been absolutely hell for me. But it's worth it, because like red meat, like now that I've had so much time away from it, I don't feel a burning urge to have it. However, Korean barbecue is a thing, and I love that food. And also I haven't had a hamburger since last year. So it's hard, and like there's substitutes. I mean, I get my coffee with oat milk now. I get we've made spaghetti with turkey meat. I recently bought an air fryer that we haven't used yet. So it's nice to see your content and like feel like doing something healthy, because a lot of the people in my life do not watch what they eat at all, and they discourage me from watching what I eat or encourage me to eat what they're eating.
Yeah. And I feel like the most important thing for me has always been how I feel. And I definitely feel my best when I'm eating pretty healthy. Now, again, like when I go on vacation, I'm obviously going to eat a little bit more dairy, or I'm going to have alcohol more than I probably usually would. But I think everything is good in moderation, and it's totally fine to have like, a little bit of pizza if you want it or whatever.
Yeah. Well, the scary part is, even though I have made all of these changes, my blood tests always come back as really bad. And it's like I'm always concerned about like, okay, I need to not have cheat days. I need to not do moderation until I have leveled these out. Yeah, so your content has been helpful for that. I just, I need more people like that in my circle to like keep me in check. And just people in general that keep me productive. I recently found a TikToker who is like a composer and does music, and I'm obsessed with his work, and I could forward him to you later. But I want to constantly be inspired to do things. Otherwise, I am laying on my side on TikTok for like 5 hours a day. And people get this misconception that I'm a super productive person because I do 2 videos a week and I work 40 hours and I go to the gym 5 days a week and this and that and this and that. I'm like, no, I lay in bed until the last minute. I'm on my phone 9 hours a day. And when I'm on my computer, I'm not always working on things. I'm really fast at what I do so that I can procrastinate for the rest of that time and then manage to get what I done really fast. And it looks like I took a long time to do it.
Yeah, I definitely am a procrastinator as well, which I think a lot of people are like, there's no way, because I'm, like you said, always like doing things, but I also procrastinate a lot. I struggle a lot with perfectionist ideals. And so a lot of times I want something to be so perfect before I even start that I get like nervous that I won't be able to meet that high expectation of myself. So I just don't start. And it's definitely counterproductive, but it's something that I've always struggled with. And I think social media, it gets a bad rep a lot, especially like, I don't know, in all of our comms classes.
Oh, yeah.
People would always go back to saying like social media is just so toxic. And while I definitely think that there are pieces of it that can absolutely be toxic and harmful to your mental health, I also think that there's a way to structure your social media to be very inspiring and motivating for you. And fortunately, I've kind of figured that out with starting this like new account. I am so motivated every time I go on it because of the people that I follow and the content that they put out into the world. And I feel like that's also made just a huge difference in my life.
Yeah, I can see 2 major factors in why a lot of those people in our classes thought that way. News and media will portray social media as you get on the internet and someone will come for it, like murder you. And two, they misuse it themselves. They go on it, they like a bunch of models that make them insecure about themselves. And then they get more stuff that makes them insecure about themselves, and they're in that feedback loop. And like, you built that algorithm to yourself. If I go, like, my explore page is mostly art stuff and memes in Spanish for some reason, but like, it's, you build it to yourself. It exists to mold to what you want to see so that they can keep you on the platform. If you don't want to see the stuff that is bothering you, you're just not taking full advantage of the platform. Because now that I'm seeing your content all over TikTok instead of whatever I was seeing before, it's like making a positive change for me. And like, I also see, you know, business related stuff, and recently I've been watching videos on how to grow your YouTube channel, and suddenly I'm seeing more and more and more of that. And it's like, and another thing, you don't have to have it. Like, if it's hurting you, don't use it. And that's not to victim blame or anything. I know people are victims of things like cyberbullying and whatnot. It's a tool, and how it affects you is based on how you use it.
Totally. I agree with you 100%. And I think that it definitely takes strength to even recognize, like, oh, this person makes me feel bad about myself every time I see a photo of them or whatever. But it's really important to recognize that in yourself, and just like, you don't have to unfollow every single person you know, but mute them or start a new account that's strictly for like motivating, inspiring content. And I feel like it's definitely changed the way that I interact on social media. And I feel like I've also been able to build really deep connections through social media, which is really interesting. I feel like it's definitely a new thing that our generation is starting to kind of like toggle around with. And moving to LA, I moved here with my boyfriend, and he was like the only person that I knew. So obviously it was kind of hard to just like go out and make friends. I'm also extremely introverted and shy, so I like don't really enjoy putting myself out in social situations. So social media was really helpful because I already knew these people online for, 2 years now. And it was a lot easier to say, hey, let's go get coffee to someone like that, rather than just like a random person that I see in a workout class.
Again, I can't fathom just going there and just living. Like, I've only been to LA maybe twice, and I couldn't imagine just going out and meeting people. That place is overwhelming.
Yeah, it is kind of scary. I think I moved around a lot when I was younger, so the idea of moving wasn't as intimidating to me, but it definitely is like a huge change, and it takes time to, like, I would say I've lived here since June of 2021, and I feel like I'm now just starting to feel like super settled, and I know like where all of my favorite places are and all those things.
So, what is your approach to becoming a Pilates instructor? Do you need some kind of certification? Are you saving up to get your own like space for it?
Yeah, so I am in the Equinox Teacher Trainer program. It's 9 months long, and half of it is virtual and the other half is in person. So we'll do like virtual lectures and seminars and things like that. And then we can go into any Equinox studio and practice with either other instructors or other people that are in the program as well. And I'm hoping to get hired by Equinox once I finish the program. I am actually about to take my intermediate exams at the end of April. And then once I pass the intermediate session, I can interview at Equinox. And that is kind of my hope. I would love to have my own Pilates studio and be able to like do whatever I want with it. But at this time of my life, that's just like such a financial burden. And I am just getting started out in the world of Pilates. So it kind of makes sense to work for a cooperation right now. My mom also works at Equinox, so I have a lot of insight on what it's like to work there. And she definitely kind of inspired me to start the program and kind of build my network within Equinox, which has been really great. But yeah, I'm hoping to work there at least part-time. Not full-time at first, because I don't think I can handle doing full-time Pilates instruction and all of my like content creating stuff. But yeah.
I got you. Yeah, it's scary to go straight into like business rather than, working for a company that does what you do. Unfortunately for me, nothing within 200 miles does what I do, and I'm not trying to relocate. So my only option was really start my own business, and obviously that's not a financially good decision for me. I'm about $1,500 in the hole right now, but I'm very good with money, and it's like I went all the way through SSU with no loans or anything, and I invested a lot of the financial aid because I paid out of pocket, and so yeah, I was ready to be in the hole financially when starting this business. It's just gonna be a while before I see any kind of monetization or anything out of it, but and people tell me like, oh, don't think about the money. I'm like, yeah, well, if I want to do this for like my life, I have to.
Yeah, money is definitely an important thing, especially when you're thinking about like a career. Oh, bless you.
There we go. That's been hiding in my face since the beginning.
But yeah, I was just saying that money is obviously like a very important thing to consider. And yeah, that's why I am hoping to work for Equinox for at least a couple years to build up not only like my client base, but also my knowledge. I mean, I have very little career capital when it comes to Pilates. I've only taught group fitness for 2 years, which is also very different than teaching one-on-one clients. So
yeah, my plan initially was to work full-time and do all this, and that's what I've been doing up until this point. I'm actually leaving my job next week. Terrible idea. I work 5 days a week, 10 a.m. to 7 p.m., which I'm doing today also, and I just couldn't, like, I would come home sad. Like, I was like, I can't do any of this while I'm at work. And I've made TikToks while at work. I'm obviously in a work uniform. I obviously can't talk to the phone because I'm in the middle of my workplace. And I'm not even supposed to be on my phone at all, but I don't care what they think. And now they're like guilt tripping me for leaving, and it's kind of funny. My district manager, or I guess he's like a corporate guy, was basically like, what are you doing next? And I'm like, so some freelancing in my business. He's like, oh yeah, that's what my sister tried to do. Money's really tight for her. I don't think she knows what she's doing. I'm like, are you trying to make me get scared and stay? So yeah, no, I mean, we live in the United States and we have to think about money, and that's just how it is. And I know a guy who's another YouTuber. He's not as business minded as I am. He's just kind of doing this because he's passionate about it. And he hates to hear me talk about the financial parts of this because he's like, you should just do it because it's fun. And I'm like, I have a lot of regulations I have to put into my content because it's a business. It takes a lot of fun out of doing anything, but you have to think of it this way. And I'm like, I like to think of my YouTube channel like I have a TV channel and I have to put TV shows in the spots. And the TV shows have to have censored swearing, and the TV shows can't be, anything like outside of what's allowed to be shown. And my 2 employees are like, oh great, I have to censor every time we swear. That's great. And I'm like, you don't necessarily have to. I just don't want you to get yourselves in some kind of trouble down the road, because we're working for a brand. Like, Yonaha is an official trademark that I own, and I don't want it to be associated with bad behavior and bad practice. So like, I don't want people to assume that because I do think about money, that's all I care about. Because ever since I was born, I've been an artist, and I've been doing all of the art I've ever done completely unpaid my entire life. And it's obviously not the only thing I care about.
yeah, no, and I don't think there's anything wrong with going into YouTube or any sort of like media production and thinking about it as if it was a business. I actually think that that's probably a really good thing to do. And I personally wish that I would have thought of some of my earlier content as more of a business, because I think that it would have led to greater success.
It's never too late to start, but yeah. I haven't seen any on your page. Did you do any affiliate marketing on your TikTok?
So the only like money that I'm really getting from TikTok is out of the TikTok Creator Fund.
Yikes.
Yeah, I have been in it and then I've gone out of it and then I've gotten back in it like two or three times just to kind of see the difference in like how it affects views, how it affects like my engagement, just like all of those things. And honestly, I don't really find that it affected much. It's not like I'm getting crazy amounts of money from it though. Like it's really nothing at all. It's
It's
like
not, yeah.
it's a little bit of extra pocket change at the end of the month, which is kind of nice. But yeah, and then I just do branded videos. So for the most part, I really haven't done that many. I think I've done maybe like five brand collaborations since I've started on TikTok. And yeah, for the most part, I have like full creative freedom, which is really, really nice. I am really picky, obviously, when I am like signing a contract with a brand. There's a lot of things that I look for and make sure that align with not only me, but also like my audience and what they want to see.
Yeah, I think that there's a lot of money to be made if you would do some more affiliate marketing. Just because you have that engagement, like I know you have what 49,000 on your TikTok right now. Some people, even if they have no following at all, make their entire income out of affiliate marketing. And for those people with no followers, it's just spamming in Pinterest and Instagram and all that stuff. But like for people with like your engagement, you could, and it could be holistic products. Like I see you use a face roller or like a gua sha. It could be a skincare product. It could be, I have one of these stupid backboards that I saw on TikTok. It was $30, and every time it's like I see it in a video, it like cracks their back. It doesn't work, but but affiliate marketing could be a huge change if like you get into the right products other than the brand deals. But yeah.
Yeah, I do have a couple, I guess. The thing is, I don't check them probably as much as I should because I do have like a couple links and stuff where I do get like, a portion of whatever the person buys if they use my code or whatever. I've never seen like crazy numbers from it, so I feel like I don't really check it as much. Although now that it is tax season, I did have to go and check some of them, and I was kind of surprised. I was like, oh, I kind of forgot that I even had this discount code or whatever. But yeah, the most important thing that I have learned throughout creating content on TikTok is to consume less and create more. I feel like I get into the habit sometimes where I think, oh, well, I have to know what's trending and I need to know what other people are talking about so I can figure out what I should talk about. And that's just a bad way of thinking about it, in my opinion. I mean, yes, it is good to be up to date with trends and trending music and whatever, but at the end of the day, the video that you have that's gonna like pop off, go viral, it's gonna be because it's something that you really cared about and something that you almost have like a gut feeling about. I have maybe 4 or 5 videos on my TikTok that have hit over 1 million, and all of those videos were the simplest things that I did that literally took me 30 seconds from when I thought of the idea to when I posted it. Whereas some of the videos that I take literal like days trying to perfect don't really do as well. And I think it's because I didn't have the same like intuition about it. So yeah, I would say consume less and just create as much as you can.
Yeah. See, I'm a huge consumer of TikTok. Here, let's actually pull up exactly how much time I waste on it a day.
Don't get me wrong, I definitely am a huge consumer as well, but I try to limit myself a little bit because I do think that it affects my own creativity.
It says activity by app. I don't know how long back this is going, but it says 4 hours and 11 minutes on TikTok. Here's a huge pitfall for me with TikTok. I don't stick to one niche. I'm always making the most random stuff because I'm either stitching someone or duetting something. And I think my most popular stuff has been me lip syncing to random people, not like music or anything, but like just some guy talking and I'm just mimicking what they're saying. And for some reason those get like a couple hundred or a few thousand views. I don't do it often, but I'm just like bored and I'll do it. I'm thinking once I'm out of my job, I'm probably going to start on a whole other account and do the same thing a couple times a day and see where that takes me. Because I noticed that most popular channels and your channel, like, this isn't even new information. Like, to do one thing and do it really well is better than doing a whole bunch of random things, because people are going to subscribe for that one thing, and then they're going to look at your page and see that you don't ever do that, and then it's like, yeah. So I'm thinking, like, if I kind of put like the creative process behind my videos and like daily routine stuff, I might have a lot better of a chance, because I'm sitting at like 93 followers on TikTok and 84 on YouTube, because same problem. I talk about way too many things. I'm trying to narrow down to just movies, video games, anime, because then I can get that community of people that like those nerd culture things. But then I might talk about an album that came out or something. I made a video on NFTs because I was like, oh, this is trendy, and I'm like, why did I do that? And I went all out. Like, I even made my own NFT as a joke, and I put it on OpenSea, and then I found out you have to pay to sell it. So I was like, okay, well, I'm not even gonna sell it then. So obviously I'm scatterbrained and I can't stick to one thing, but I'm gonna force myself to it and see how that affects the growth.
Yeah, I think it is important to have some sort of consistency, whether that's in the amount of times that you're posting a day or within the overall like topics of your content. People love consistency. They like to see the same thing over and over and over again. That was something that I found really interesting, because when I first started, I was like, well, this is so boring. I literally post the same exact video every single day, but just like I'm wearing different clothes in it, or I'm having like a different breakfast or whatever. But people really like that, and they come to like expect that every single day. And I've also, for example, I just posted, it was a TikTok that I made into a reel, and I posted it on Instagram, and I wouldn't say it was out of my niche, but it was definitely not as centered around like health and wellness. And it's at like almost 6 million views on Instagram, which is like insane. That is the most views I've ever received on any platform ever. And it's really great, but I'm getting a lot of followers that don't necessarily align with my specific content, because it was just such a random video that happened to blow up. So yeah, I definitely think that there's value in kind of narrowing down what you want to bring to other people.
Okay, I'm starting to have some good questions flow into my brain. These are a little more of a like fun questions, but they could also be like not. Have you had any crazy people comment repeatedly or DM you repeatedly because of your content? You have any horror stories?
I mean, honestly, it's usually just like really gross guys commenting, like, I don't know, like they'll start out by saying, like, complimenting me, which is kind, but also kind of gross, because like I don't really know you. I have a boyfriend. It's uncomfortable. But then it's like when I don't answer them immediately, that's when they get like just straight up rude. And yeah, I don't really have the time or energy for it anymore. Like, I used to sit there and try to like either respond back and be like, hey, like that was really like unkind of you. But now at this point, I'm like, I don't even care. Like, I just block them or delete the comment, move on. But yeah, there's definitely a lot of weird. I mean, I'm sure that there's weird girls too, but I've only come into contact with weird guys, so.
Yeah. Most of the people that message me are like children who are like, I wish my videos were like yours. I'm like, well, do it. And then they're like, I can't. And then it's just like this whole thing where I'm like, bro, I'm 10 years older than you. I've been doing this since I was your age. I've been editing videos since I was literally like 12 or 13. And it's like, this isn't my first time doing YouTube. I just gave up on it when I was a kid and came back to it. And with a whole new brain, and like, you know, it's a brand this time. It's like a huge different thing from what it was before. And you know, yesterday in particular, this kid was saying that kind of stuff to me. And then he started criticizing my videos out of nowhere, and I'm like, whoa, I didn't ask for this. And then I went on his channel, and he had like 10 times more subscribers than me, and only like 3 videos. One of those videos was like this video that he clearly stole from a different creator, and it had a few thousand views. So it was like footage from an anime with like a certain song playing. I found the name of the song, I typed in the name of the anime and that song. I found that video from a different creator, and then I told him the name of I sent him a link to the kid who stole it, and then I reported the video. And I'm like, don't criticize me and then be a thief.
Yeah, no, the people that are always the rudest or just like annoying in my DMs, like when I actually go click on their account, they're usually like these anonymous profiles or just like weird people. So yeah, I just like have learned to either block or just like make them unfollow me. So yeah.
Yeah. I get a lot of mean replies on TikTok because I can be very opinionated, especially because like a lot of TikTok videos are very messed up, and if you say anything about how it's messed up, people will get angry at you. And I've had people just go to my page and just be like, "You're goofy looking." I'm like, okay, or they'll call me a bunch of really offensive things because I said that. Okay, you shouldn't say this offensive slur in your videos. And then they're like, why are you mad? Okay, carry on then.
Yeah.
But don't go on my profile and comment on a dozen of my videos because I made you mad.
People will always find a way to be mad, and that's definitely what I've learned over my time being on social media. I could post like the most wholesome video content ever that I would never think would ever like offend anyone, and people will still get offended. So at the end of the day, I just kind of have to like, I don't know, stick to my original thought and just post the video anyway. Because there was definitely a point in time, like a couple months in, where I was like, I don't want to do this anymore because people were just so mean for no reason. And yeah, I think I just kind of had to like suck it up, which does suck. And that definitely is one of the like toxic parts of social media, is like you can't control what people are going to say about you or about your content. But for the most part, it hasn't been like terrible, just every now and then. And especially when a video gets a really high reach, that's what I always say. Like, it is really nice when you see like those really high numbers, like it makes you feel like accomplished in a way. But at the end of the day, it's also like a two-edged sword, because then you're getting exposed to all these people that don't follow you and they don't know your content, they don't know your intentions or anything like that.
Yep, still waiting for that day for me.
It'll happen.
Well, I imagine like when someone is really out of pocket on your page, like people that follow you will attack them for you.
I have seen that sometimes, yeah, which is also kind of like a weird thing. But I mean, it's sweet. I appreciate it. But I also don't like having just like negativity in my comments at all. Yeah. So if it's like, you know, a smaller video that blows up and someone says something kind of rude or whatever, like I'll just delete it. Like I really don't care to delete comments. But when a video gets like 5 million views, like obviously that's like way more than I can handle. Like I just stop looking at the comments after that, because I know that there's no way that I can spend that time or energy going through comments. And yeah.
Have you heard of the creator Bella Porch?
Yes, I have.
She has something I heard called the 15-minute rule, where she posts a TikTok and only reads the comments within 15 minutes and then never looks at it again, because her followers will be kind and then everyone else will call her a sellout or a bad artist or ugly or whatever they want to say. And I mean, people are obviously mad because she got famous from head bobbing, but now she's actually doing like art and stuff, and they're like, oh, what, this TikToker thinks she can sing now? And I'm like, people act like being talented and making a dumb TikTok are mutually exclusive. It's like the most talented people in the world can do dumb things.
Totally.
Yeah. But so if you get to that point where you are absolutely flooded with mean comments, the 15-minute rule is a nice thing. My problem is, even if I don't read the comments on the video, I will see the notifications on the inbox thing, and I'll probably read them there as I'm passing by, because I have that feedback loop thing happening in my brain where because I've had top comment on a few posts, and I'll get a notification every 5 seconds, and I'll go from the video I'm watching and then switch to read that someone liked my comment, and then switch back, and then someone likes my comment, and I switch back and forth and back and forth. I need to get over that. I'm just not used to getting a lot of notifications in general at the moment, but I'm preparing to get there because I'm not planning on sitting here with nothing for very long.
Yeah, definitely. And once they start coming in, like they don't stop is also what I realized. I had to turn off all of my notifications on literally every social media platform because I just couldn't even look at my phone anymore without seeing them, and it was just preventing me from getting things done. Or I'd be like halfway through answering a text message and then I'd get a notification, and so I'd click on it and it just got bad. So they're all off.
Yeah. Now, do things like having all those comments and approximately 50,000 followers, do those things make you feel like you're famous?
No, not at all. I would say the only time that I ever felt like slightly cooler because I had followers was one time I was in an Erewhon, which is like a really nice grocery store in LA. And I was just alone, like getting a smoothie, and this girl tapped me on the shoulder and she was like, "Is your name Maya?" And I was like, "Yes." And she was like, "I follow you." And that was like the coolest, crazy moment ever. But yeah, no, that was the only time that I've ever felt like kind of cool.
Yeah, I don't know about you, but when my first video hit 200 views, I was like, this is it. I've paved the road to victory. And then the next video got 30 views. And I was like, right. I can only have a glimpse into what I want, and then and it's not like the views are that exactly important to me. My main thing is I want people to interact. I want people in my Discord server. I want people commenting on my videos. And on one particular video I got like 9 comments, and I was like, yes, I made it. And no video since then has gotten any. And I'm like, okay, I have to like really analyze my own posts and figure out, why do people comment on this one, not the other ones? Like, why do people, because on TikTok videos are short and that works in your advantage. On YouTube, you're encouraged to make longer videos, but people don't watch them for a long time. The average view duration is like 12 to 17% on most YouTube videos. And because of that, people like Logan Paul and other massive creators have dropped from 20-minute uploads to 6-minute uploads, because kids are more likely to watch it. And because the video was short, they'll just watch all the other videos he's uploaded because they're short, but then they're accumulating a ton of hours, and it's more effective than making fewer 20-minute uploads.
Yeah, totally. I feel like it's also important to like diversify the types of content that you're creating. I found that when I started actually building an audience that like cared about me as a creator was when I had a TikTok, I also had an Instagram, and I had a podcast. And for me, like dealing with those 3 things was manageable. I would love to go back on YouTube, but I just like don't have the time or energy, or I don't even like want to put forth the time or energy into creating like long form content anymore. But yeah, I think people like being able to see like photos and videos, and then if they really want to hear me like talk for an hour straight, they'll go to my podcast. So they're kind of seeing like all different sides of you.
Yeah, I totally did not ask about your podcast on here. What is your podcast like?
Yeah, so I started my podcast in August of 2021. It's called XX Maya. It was kind of inspired because that's how I used to sign off on all of my Instagram posts. I would just put like a little XX Maya, kind of like XOXO. And yeah, so when I started it, I didn't really have a clear image, I would say. I've always been really into podcasts. I probably listen to like 2 or 3 podcasts every single day. I love them. It is my favorite media to consume. And so I've always been interested in starting my own. But when I started, I was very like scattered about it because I was like, well, I don't want to just talk about health and wellness. I don't want to like just be motivational. So that was also part of the reason why I named it XX Maya, because I was like, I want it to be something that's really just me. And it is a content that I would say I don't stress about it as much as I stress about like TikTok or Instagram posts. On my podcast, I literally just talk about whatever I want to talk about that week. And I definitely don't have the viewers or the engagement that I have on my other platforms, but I'm totally okay with that. And it's like therapy for me, recording podcasts. I love it so, so much.
Is that why you agreed to do this one?
Yes, I will literally say yes to any podcast because I love talking, and I love listening to podcasts too.
Yeah, awesome. I'm happy to have guests in general. But yeah, it's really cool that someone I went to school with is doing all this stuff so I could have you on. You did your podcast as your senior project, right?
Technically, my website was my senior project. Yeah.
Got it. Because I remember seeing that you had a podcast when you did your website, and I was like, oh yeah, and then you said August of last year, and I was like, yeah, that is. But yeah, no, I could imagine talking about health and wellness on how often do you do the podcast?
I upload once a week on Sundays.
Okay, I imagine talking about that for an hour once a week is really hard to do. I'm very scattered in this podcast. I usually have my employee or two, or member or two, whatever you want to call them. One of them's my cousin and one of them's my friend. And we'll just talk about recent entertainment news, like gaming, movies, whatever. But that fell off really fast, and now we're kind of doing, I'm kind of trying to get guests on, have more of a creative circle and all that. And the last guy I had was actually someone I met in real life who is starting a brand called California Made Products. So yeah, it's just really cool to have other people that I kind of know in real life. It's kind of a parasocial thing because like I'm obviously hundreds of miles away from you, and I only met him in person once. He was introduced to me through email, and we talked, and I did some work for him, and he's doing some stuff for me. And it's like, yeah, we hardly know each other. If I ran into him at the grocery store, I probably wouldn't even recognize him. But yeah, so it's really cool the time we live in, how we'll hardly ever, if ever, be face to face, but we can still know people on a personal level. You ever go live on TikTok?
It's actually so funny that you mentioned that. No, I never have. And my boyfriend, actually, that's what he does for his like full-time job, is he is a TikTok live streamer, and he is always trying to make me go live and telling me like how crazy it is. He started with this company and they literally had 0 followers on his first day, and now they're at like 18,000 followers just based off of live streams. Like they don't post any TikToks at all. It's just live streaming. So it's kind of crazy to see how much that has like grown. I mean, that is like a company, so it's a little bit different than like a personal brand, but I would like to go live on TikTok. I don't know. I always get so like weird about it. So I'm like, what am I going to talk about?
Yeah, because I've tried Twitch streaming and I wasn't as fortunate as him. First of all, I didn't know you could stream or live stream with 0 followers. I thought you had to have like a couple thousand to start, but apparently not. But yeah, on Twitch, it's like you don't even know if someone's watching, because sometimes it'll say you have 1 and it's just you, and sometimes it'll say 0 and I don't even know what makes the difference. And I'll have 2 and I'll be like, hey, like say something in chat, and then they disappear. And it's like they were just clicking on and clicking off to see what was going on. And it might say that they're still watching for a long time before, like after they had left. And like I'll have 3 viewers and I'm just sitting there talking to myself. You have to talk like there's an audience there even if no one's watching. And it's so weird, because then I catch myself repeatedly going like, okay, and then I'm gonna do this, and then I'm gonna do that, and now I'm gonna do this, and I'm like, okay, I'm just filling in the gaps because I don't know what to say, and it's just awkward. So I get why you might not want to do it, but yeah, also it's like I don't even know what you would live stream. It's like, all right, I made my breakfast, now you guys are gonna watch me eat it.
Yeah, that's the other thing that I'm like, I don't really know what I would do. And I feel like my boyfriend's company, they've had success in doing live streams because they're very interactive and there's a lot of people in the room when they're live streaming. So they have like people in real life to like talk to and kind of like play off of. So people find that more entertaining than if I was to just like go live and I don't know, put on makeup or like I don't even know.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely things to do. I don't ever watch people live stream on TikTok. I remember there was that trend where it's like, oh, this guy offered me these cool glasses if I did something obscene, and then you click on their live and they're wearing the glasses. That was the trend for so long, but like, I don't think anyone stays on their live. But yeah, it's. I don't think I'd ever live stream on TikTok, but I'll definitely try doing Twitch more, because I work on my film, and I can just like live stream it so that I'm not gonna take a 30-minute break and lay down because there's a camera on me and I have to be productive. So that's kind of like a way I've like kind of locked myself down to make sure I'm working. But recently I just haven't been streaming at all because I'm still trying to leave my job. I can only really live stream after work on weekends.
Yeah, I actually follow this one girl, Callie. I think it's at OK Callie, and she's in law school and she goes live all the time and she just does like study with me's, which I find so interesting. She'll literally just like prop her camera up and then just like be on her laptop or like reading through her textbook or something. And she'll still have like thousands of people on these live streams and she's literally not doing anything but studying. And I find it so fascinating what some people like enjoy watching or find value in.
Wow. I love when people do time lapses of them studying, because then they're just like flipping
Yeah.
through books and typing really fast, and it's it does the neuron activation for me. I'm like, whoa, look how fast they're studying, even though it's obviously sped up. But like, I think it's because I've never studied that hard in my life.
Really?
School wasn't easy for me, but I definitely didn't make it easier for myself. I mean, I'll just keep saying I'm scatterbrained. I hate saying, oh, I have ADHD. I feel like people often say that and they don't have a diagnosis, or they just say that because it's like a fun personality trait to them. But like, I genuinely have a hard time reading. I genuinely have a hard time staying on track, and that's the more people get to know me, the more they can tell. Obviously, just in this recording, I've changed the topic 1,000 times. So, I don't know, it's just a thing people are going to have to get used to with me because I'm not going to take medication for it. So, yeah, I think we're at a good time to conclude. We're just under an hour. It was really cool to have you on.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, and what's your TikTok at? I'm going to make sure that people can follow you.
I am at Maya Fiorella on TikTok and at XX Maya Fiorella on Instagram.
Perfect. All right, well, thank you for coming on. I'm going to wrap it up here. Follow her on TikTok and also subscribe to the channel, and join my Discord if you want to talk with me. And everyone, thanks for watching.